tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from 8 and 8. Okay, I know all the lyrics.
You dare
actually.
question my wife.
Yeah, I didn't question her at all. Real quick, we both traveled this weekend. What kind of traveling skills did you guys learn on your trip? I learned a very important skill.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. My first is never travel when you have poison ivy.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's pretty terrible.
That sounds like a layup. So
Yeah,
we're gonna move on to
yeah.
Abby. Do you have anything actually incisive to say?
If you're on a flight and you have a capacity to watch something and you're, it's a longer flight over 2.5 hours, just watch 2 movies.
Yeah.
You're there. I literally don't care anymore. I could be on a plane for 10 hours. I'd be fine now.
Yeah, so
Movies.
whenever I'm on, I always feel this weird sense of shame whenever I go to the movie.
Oh,
Same.
no, embrace
I feel like I've
the
given up.
movie.
Well, I've got a book in my bag,
Yeah.
I'm all ready to go to read,
No.
do something productive.
And that's the thing is I get some of my best reading done when I'm on a plane. And
You
so
do?
I can focus. I've done like 6 hours straight on a book.
No way.
I have
Yeah.
never done that on a
I
plane.
think
Can't do it.
I think it's the altitude thing, like the way that the temperature changes. I don't know. It's like you cry more when you watch a movie.
You're more
Focus.
emotionally invested
More
in your
emotionally invested in the book potentially. I don't know.
That's
I'm kind of a marathon reader guy though. I don't read often, but when I do, I'll read for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So I have my own compulsions.
Don't we
you know?
all?
What movies did you watch?
Oh, this actually on the way back, I have a funny story. So
Yeah.
I am watching Harry Potter for the first time in my life.
Okay.
I watched the first one with Becca, my
Yes.
sister-in-law, your wife.
My wife.
Obviously. And that was phenomenal. The movie itself is not, the first one was not good.
No.
It was entertaining though. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
So, we're on Delta and they have all of the Harry Potter movies.
They got all the Bond movies.
Yeah.
They got all the
Yeah.
Harry Potter
it
movies.
was-
It's a great selection
Yeah,
on
it is.
Delta.
It is. So
What can I say?
I watch, it's Sorcerer's Stone is the first one.
Yeah.
Second one is Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
So I confirmed with Dylan that was watching number 2. I didn't want to start it and, be in the third or fourth one.
Yeah.
Not knowing at all what happens. And there was this sweet Asian child basically next to me. I think he was probably like 16 or 18. I couldn't really tell.
At this point, they're all children.
Exactly.
Anybody below the
Exactly.
age of 18
is
to
a
us,
child.
Yeah.
So I am watching Chamber of Secrets. I probably am 3/4 of the way through. This kid had a Rubik's Cube, he was one of
for
those.
it.
He was clicking at the beginning. He was super nervous.
Great genre of
But
guy.
he found the solace in the movies because he started to turn on his screen.
Yeah.
And he started, I don't even know what Harry Potter movie he was watching, but
Probably
he looked over at me and said, I'm going to watch Harry Potter. And
Yeah.
his life was changed. He was super quiet the rest of the flight. I had to be
you go.
sure
You've
that
seen
I wasn't
it.
looking over because
Yeah. It was like the third
Spoilers.
to last film.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I'm sure I've talked about this a million times on the show, but I love watching over somebody's shoulder what
Yeah.
they're watching
On the plane.
On the plane. That's how I watch Shape of Water. I like to think that I've seen Shape of Water. I logged it on
Well,
Letterboxd afterwards.
That's how I watched Whiplash.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, the blood at the end. I was like, this film is so overdramatic, but that's the only part I saw, really.
Yeah.
So.
I actually watched on a plane Shape of Water, not just over somebody's shoulder.
okay,
I
okay.
I actually watched Shape of Water on a plane once. And I'd heard all this stuff about the weird sexual themes in the film.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
and then I was talking to Matt Sauer later and he was like, you remember that scene when? And I'm like, I had no idea that happened in the movie.
Planes, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if I've actually seen 3 billboards or,
I saw that on a plane as well.
or I also saw Birdman on the plane
Oh.
as well. So it's that was the year I cared about movies. I watched all the Oscar nominees.
That's Abby's life, though.
plane.
It's true. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not something you just dip in and out of.
You're right. You're right.
You got to
Yeah.
be truly dedicated.
Speaking
Simple.
of dipping in and out, for my driving, I drove 9 hours to and 9 hours from Washington, D.C. in about 3 days apart. So a lot of time in the car.
Yeah.
Becca instructed me for the first time in my life on how to use cruise control.
Get out.
Did you not get the cruise control happening before now? Dude?
Exactly. I didn't know. I was intimidated by it. So I've driven
My gosh.
for 10 hours at a time, etc.
Yeah.
Multiple days in a row. Never with cruise control. I've got ankles of steel apparently. But
so I started to get severe pain in my legs whenever I would drive for long distances, like over an hour.
Who taught you two how to drive? I knew about cruise control when I was 15.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering whether or not like we were told. I don't remember this.
So Becca ran me through it, and I never was once instructed on how to use it.
Well, and I was wondering whether or not we were told not to use it, like explicitly, don't use cruise control. Well, I think that when you're,
because I learning how to use it and whatnot, it makes you kind of overconfident in some spaces because the way that you regulate your speed is very inconsistent. And when you have really consistent speed, it makes you faster just overall, right? And so I felt like a speed demon on a lot of occasions. And what's really funny is I did it in situations where I really shouldn't have, like going like basically 90 degrees downhill in Pennsylvania. Just like, let's throw cruise control on. Just, weaving between semi-trucks.
Ever since Dylan knew how to use it, which we were married when we started using it.
You taught me how to use
cruise control, And now he uses it on 55, round curve roads, to regulate his speed. Literally uses it all the time.
Because I tend to go under speed, so I thought I'd make sure that I hit 55 and hit that cruise control.
That makes sense.
I feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I luckily there was no close calls or anything this time around.
But now that you've got, the Pandora's box has been opened.
Pandora's box has been opened.
You can't put that thing back.
Yeah. It was honestly incredibly relaxing. I'm so glad that I discovered how to use it. And Becca has been bothering me about it basically since we've started dating. And she'd be like, why the hell are you using cruise control? I'm like, I don't know, for like triad reasons maybe.
Yeah. Because you're not really experiencing the car.
You're not feeling the car when you do that. It's basically, cruise control is just automatic for people who drive automatic. I'm a manual automatic driver. I don't use cruise control.
There you go. Yeah.
I learned how to use cruise control, and I also learned, that it's very easy to almost fall asleep. Although that didn't happen to me this time around because I drank this new thing that Panera has. Have you seen this?
Panera?
Yeah,
a new drink? Yeah, for Panera.
So we went to Panera.
I'm not rolling up to Panera.
I know, guys. We went all the way to Washington, D.C., and one of the things we did was go to Panera. And we went to some nice restaurants as well. I treat my wife well when it comes to food, for sure. We probably treat ourselves far too well. I stepped on the scale today. I was like, okay, maybe as the holiday season approaches, it's time to go on a diet. But
I'm feeling that.
There's this new thing where they have, it's so stupid. It's essentially an energy drink where it's it's like lemonade, but with as much caffeine as dark roast coffee.
What?
Oh, that sounds disgusting. I don't know why.
Yeah, that sounds very sickeningly sweet.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that the way they get the caffeine, the way it's explained on the blurb, I stared at it for 15 minutes. Like, what the hell am I looking at? It
couldn't figure it out.
Caffeinated with green coffee extract. And you're like, what is green coffee extract?
Is that like a coffee bean that's not been roasted?
It's been blessed by an Irish priest.
There you
go.
Boom.
Exactly. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit,
And the shamrock.
And the shamrock. that's why the
it's green.
There you go. They actually come in bright red, and then they a little bit of that action, and then boom.
No, you don't know the thing about the shamrock though.
Many things about the shamrock, but what do you know about the shamrock?
About the shamrock?
No, lay it on me.
Yeah, the way that one of the main forms of proselytization. It's why it's like the symbol of Ireland. Is that you explain the Trinity by saying, it's 3 leaves, but it's one plant.
Oh, wow.
Which is a heresy.
Well, not the way he said it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Trinity is
boom. Heresy, dude.
Owned, but
dude, Catholics owned. Dude.
Yeah, Catholics never gonna.
Nation of Ireland owned, dude.
Yeah, they're too busy owning themselves to be owned,
or attempting to own the Queen right now.
Doing their very best. Irish for sure, taking their sweet revenge.
Guys, we got frickin' Abby Strehle on the podcast.
That's right.
Today. My wife, all around cool person.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
Wow.
Right,
that's high praise.
I won't go too far in support, but I will cautiously say a pretty good.
Is that because you're
cool
afraid
person.
this episode's gonna suck or something?
No. It's just I gotta appear objective.
Oh, I see.
That's true. Because people are sitting at home and they're saying, I really think that Dylan is putting his heart and soul too much into his guests.
Yeah. Well, I am the third woman to appear on Monomaniacs, and I find that to be
that's a bronze medal right there.
Yeah, exciting and also sad. So, you know.
You're here to lecture us about our
I'm just making this place more diverse. That's all I'm saying.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're all about
It's the first time you've ever done that, most likely.
Oh, probably. Let's be honest.
Man. Yeah. So for all you at home who have been asking us repeatedly, for us to have our wives on the show,
Becca, where are you?
Congratulations. Well, Becca told me, she looked at
Becca?
me with the most pleading look on her face I've seen in a long time. And she said, don't ever make me go on that. Please. And I said, Becca, give her a quick hug. And I said, never. I promise. So like 500, Patreon subscribers are like, please go on the show that made me. But
Wow.
If there's enough money behind it.
The money.
yeah, exactly.
Becca.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what's the malfunction, dude? Why can't we get the Becca on the show, dude?
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if she's ever listened to an episode of the thing.
She has actually. I was there when she did. It was Brant's second episode.
Okay.
Oh,
But
the love episode.
That's the first. That was the first thing of mine that she had ever interacted with. I think she has missed all but one of my concerts all through college. She refused to listen to the radio show I had for 3 years, and she has only listened to parts, like half of one episode of Monomaniacs. She does it on purpose. She says, I hear, I got enough of you at home.
I just feel honored that Monomaniacs was the show that she finally, or more Brant should feel honored that
True.
Exactly.
he was the one that broke the seal.
I think she was just bored. She was in between. her
Wow.
many
Don't tell
hobbies
Brant
and
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be disappointed.
He's incredibly, he's a draw.
He is a draw.
He's a draw in a
There
lot
you
of
go.
ways.
I love that guy.
Gotta have
Draws the
Condo.
eye, if you're just in a crowd.
It draws the eye down.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry,
actually
Brant.
I was
Sorry.
going to say the opposite. It would hard to see him in the crowd.
No, I mean, as long as the crowd is below 4 foot on average, that he draws
Brant.
the eyes of the crowd.
Among elves, he's a giant.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to check in to see how his journey toward
Well,
love
I mean, the last
is?
time we talked to him, he was very evasive. He was very evasive.
Well, I did.
Okay.
I got him. I sat down with him, and he showed me his profile.
Yeah.
Which maybe we can have him back on
good.
to go through his profile
Yes.
and critique it.
I didn't like his photo. I told him as much.
Okay.
I told him
Wow.
not a great photo.
I said it communicated a certainness. I don't know. Whatever. But I think he's got cold feet.
Oh. Brant?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I know.
Brant? Really?
All things.
Brant, who we had to bring on to an episode of the show just to convince to even create the darn thing.
Yeah. I don't know. He was like, yeah, I haven't gotten any messages yet. And was like kind of scrolling through people. And I was like, you got to like
Reach out.
message them, right?
Yeah.
Especially they're women on a dating platform. Do you think that, they're sitting there, they've got a glut of attention.
Yeah. All right, so Abby, you can bring a perspective on this that we weren't able to offer.
That's true.
On
The
our
female
episode. The female perspective as a
perspective.
female who has never been on a dating app in her life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So much perspective.
Yeah. So what would Brant have to do to catch your eye on the dating app?
Honestly, if he reached out and said, "Hey, want to go see a movie?"
Yeah.
I would be sold.
Yeah, but that's a particular weakness, right?
Well,
on movies.
I think most people enjoy.
What's up with him asking you a question and then putting a caveat on
exactly.
it? Like
I
you
think
said-
most
you
people
said,
enjoy
what-
going to see the movies
what would
as a
he
first
have
date.
to say to get her? And she said movie. That's too specific. It's
Yeah.
her.
No,
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
A movie. I would even go see freaking Minions something, I'd be cool with a movie. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Come
I
on,
think so,
Brant.
too.
Invite women to movies.
Yeah. What? Invite a woman to a movie. You could
That's an awesome thing.
just coffee, even.
yeah.
You can say, hey, come over to my place. We'll watch Taxi Driver.
Not over to no. Always a
not.
neutral spot, Brant. Never to the house.
All right, fine. We'll go to the park. When we'll take out my phone, we'll watch the Joker. It'll be a good time. That's
I was talking to other friend of the show whose name I'm not going to say, but another short person who is on social media, and they had some serious or on not social media. They're also on social media, but they're on dating websites, and they said a big problem is that as a short person, and I don't know if this is something that you would stoop to, right? Literally, but
I'm the average height for a woman.
every other person that they attempted to reach out to would hit him with how tall are you?
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Okay, see, I am not. Well, okay.
If it's under 6 feet, it's over.
I've polled a lot of women on this in
Yes.
my own sphere. Height is a big deal for them.
The Abby
to be
sphere.
perfectly honest, never once thought about it.
Really?
No. Maybe it would have been obvious,
Mm-hmm.
had Dill been that much shorter than I. But I don't know. I take that as a vote of confidence.
Yeah. It's
Grant.
just, I imagine it's tough even from a male perspective sometimes if they're dating a woman who's like, 2 heads taller than them. Right.
Well, how do you feel, Shad, when Becca wears heels?
Yeah, she's either my height or taller when she wears heels. I think that we've kind of entered this weird truce where we realize that we're essentially the same.
Yeah.
Just like, we are so close in height and so close in just composition, that it's like we're basically equals physically. I'm much stronger than she is, but like we're still, it's like doing something cute.
I would like to test that though.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a weightlifting contest.
Gosh,
just
between
cold.
you two.
Don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
But
all right, we'll see which one of you can lift the bar, and then we'll go from there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doing something like picking her up or having her sit on my lap, something that couples will often do. It just doesn't work because we're just so on the same level physically that she just takes up, and she's not a large woman, right, in any respects, but it's just since we're so similar size wise, it's like, okay, well, we can't really do this, or like, carrying over her. I attempted to carry her through the threshold of our apartment when we got married. She said, no, this is going to be embarrassing, because it's like,
my wife was sad that I did not.
He didn't. Yeah,
didn't even ask.
Went down on one knee to propose, but didn't even ask about the threshold.
Wow.
I did make him like several months after we moved here carry me through.
Okay.
So I felt like there was a bit of justice there.
It is different.
I mean, because traditionally it's through the the threshold of the home, like the house, right?
True.
Some property you own.
Yeah, she said no to that too.
Oh gosh, and no to the podcast. Does Becca ever say yes?
I feel like we're kind of bashing Becca right now.
I know, poor
Sorry.
Becca.
But it's fine. She'll never listen to this.
She's a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah, she probably won't. She probably won't.
Poor Becca.
Yo, you come on Monomaniacs for once in your lifetime, right? That's what they say.
That's
right?
what people are telling me.
People have it on their bucket list. The Queen did. Unfortunately, we couldn't get out there in time. It was close, but we almost.
This is your second Queen joke this episode. Sounds like you have a fixation here. You have something you want to get off your chest?
Did you see that The Crown is now top 10 on Netflix since the Queen died?
Wow.
Yeah.
People are trying to.
It's been off that list for ages now.
People are trying to get the dirt.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're trying to get what really happened.
What really happened
Yeah,
to the
because
Queen.
The Crown is definitely all of reality.
100% accurate.
Exactly.
Anyway, we couldn't get her on in time, but we thankfully are going to be able to get Abby on in time.
Hopefully.
Right. Yes.
Well, the fun fact about me and all of my extended family is that I was born on the exact same day that Princess Diana died.
Wow.
So I feel as though I have a kinship with the British monarchy in a very strange, tragic way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strangest and tragic death of
Yeah,
all.
it's like
literally.
when her soul left the earth, it reincarnated into your body.
Wow. Amazing.
Your Princess Di.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think I need more evidence than that.
I'm sure there's a lot of women who wear shirts that have Eeyore on them and have weird curly hair who would tear up at the prospect of meeting someone so tangentially close to Princess Di.
There you go.
You could sell tickets.
There's some folks who are still not
set up
over
at a coffee shop.
So
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, there are people who have been talking about how they're happy the Queen is dead because of what she did to Princess Di. Right.
Oh, okay.
I know.
King Charles III did nothing to her. Okay.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Great point
I'm
there.
just saying. That's what I'm just speaking with the zeitgeist to say it, right?
She could have been queen. She could be queen right now.
Queen consort.
Yes.
I am just the fonts of nature and of humanity. I just sort of pour that kind of messaging out
for the zeitgeist. But anyway, you're introducing the nature of the show.
Yeah. So what we do is we talk about your monomaniacal.
Your
The monomaniacal obsession of your previous week, the thing that you've been focused on, that you can't get out of your head, that you want to talk about. You don't have to be an expert in it. You're just interested in it. You're down to talk. So, Abby, I wanted to ask you, what is your monomaniacal obsession for this week?
I just got a new frying pan.
Nice.
And as everybody knows, if you know me well enough, I'm obsessed with eggs.
That's true.
Eggs
Eggspert.
are magical.
There you go.
They're the most wonderful thing. I think it's apt that we have a dancing pancake here with us
I should have found an egg-related.
You probably could have.
Yeah, and I'm a little disappointed now. I thought the pancake was good enough, but
but now that you know that, there could have been other
there could have been an egg.
possibilities. Yeah.
But yeah, the egg is magical, and it has so many different properties. And I was thinking, yesterday as I got my fry pan out and had eggs, because I've had every meal the last 2 days I've had an egg associated with it or in it.
You're just getting your use out of the frying pan.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
Well, tell me about this frying pan.
Oh, okay. So I bought it on Amazon. It's a Japanese style fry pan.
What makes it Japanese?
Yeah. I don't know. It has a name that I can't pronounce, like karote or something.
Yeah, the karote.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you just mispronounced karate. Yeah.
It starts with a C. Okay, I do know that.
Okay.
Anyway, so the fry pan has been magical for fried eggs, and it's got me thinking about, how many things you can throw a fried or over easy egg.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of it increases tenfold.
There you go.
And let's be honest, I don't know, every time I have a perfectly cooked over easy egg, I literally sit there, look at it on my plate and think this is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, she did that this morning.
Yeah, literally.
She did this at
no
lunch.
one ever talks about how magical the egg is. It's something we all take for granted. I counted today.
Yeah.
I currently almost have 4 dozen eggs upstairs. I'm going to go through those, and Dylan will as well, of course. And I mean,
not as quickly.
There's a breakfast casserole in our future as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I challenge you all. Think about the egg.
That's true. Well, so
I've had a renewed sense. Again, it was probably the frying pan that did it.
It's true.
Thanks,
I mean, today,
Karate.
you saw an egg this morning on your plate that you said, I am revitalized in my love of eggs in this very moment.
It's amazing.
So
and I literally sit at work and think about the next time I'm going to have an egg.
The thing that strikes me about the egg is that it's ubiquitous in world cuisine.
Yes.
It's used for every major form of cooking.
Exactly. And tonight for dinner, a really easy dish to throw together is, I've only done it, I think this is the second or third time I've made it, but it's called shakshuka.
Yeah.
It's, from like northern Africa or something.
Like Morocco.
I put tuna in it because it's like a tomato-based thing and you cook the eggs in it.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
You put tuna in it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And curried spices. It was pretty good. Yeah. There's some left over if you want some.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Becca made honey mustard chicken tonight.
Ooh,
that's good stuff.
that
Again,
sounds
we
good.
treat ourselves well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the egg in regards to you.
Because I really do want to talk about
in regards to you in particular.
And I have been thinking about the egg.
The genesis of this...
the egg, if you will.
Yes.
Yes.
The genesis of this obsession. Where would you say that your love of the egg first sort of proliferated?
Okay. It was beginning of college, freshman year of college.
Wow.
Late April 7th.
Exactly.
4 p.m.
Exactly. I remember the day and time. I was in the freshman girls' dormitory. I didn't actually live there, but I was with some of my friends.
Yeah.
And someone said, let's make scrambled eggs. As you do, because you're a poor college student. And, the egg is cheap. That's also another beneficial thing about the egg.
Incredibly cheap. Incredibly.
And we're all sitting there, and someone says, I hate scrambled eggs. I'm like, what? What is this person's problem? And then I realized their complaint was because it's always crusty and dry.
Yeah.
They are not making scrambled eggs well.
The super large curds.
Low and slow.
Yes.
And you mush that fried egg or that egg down as it cooks. And you add more butter or more water. And you keep the consistency. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, there are like probably half of all Americans don't even know how to make scrambled eggs.
No.
Julia Childs is here, people. And her recipes are online.
That's true.
And it's life-changing.
We are in a post-Julia world.
Yeah, exactly. How many times have you eaten an egg and been like, whatever?
Yeah, it's and also I feel like a lot of people's egg opinions are colored yellow specifically by instant eggs or like pre-beaten eggs or something that you'd get at like camp. Or at the Knights of Columbus breakfast or something where it's dry, large curd, and you just put enough ketchup onto it to where you don't even
or hot sauce.
It tastes like rubber.
Or it's only something that you layer with. So, you've got your hash browns and you throw your crumbled sausage over, No, the egg itself is amazing. And I remember telling everybody this, sitting there in the dorm. And everybody looked at me like you two are looking at me now. Like, just, whoa, this is a little boring, but also... Actually, I've never thought about it that way.
Wow. So you schooled them from an intellectual perspective.
Yeah. Well,
right.
No, it just popped into my head, like, whoa, when you're a kid.
Would you say divine intervention, divine inspiration?
I kind of feel like that, honestly. Yeah, I do. I really do. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the fry pan changed my life. And then it also made me think too. Another, the fry pan was a part of a larger goal that I have realized in the past couple of weeks that there are so many 10 or $15 items out there on Amazon that are actually useful. It's not just dumb crap. And the more that you get stuff, to make your daily life better.
Just a little bit better.
Oh,
for
it's
only
amazing.
$10 to $15.
Yeah. Focus on the little things, like your carotte, whatever, fry pan.
Or little things like the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's what I've been thinking a lot about.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the show last week, actually, about how it's so easy to spend $15, $20 on lunch.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly difficult to do it on something that, say, you really want, like something related to your hobby or something that is useful or whatever, because you're like, oh, yeah, get a sandwich and an appetizer. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're really dipping into the coffers. But something that's going to make cooking an egg a dream. Maybe not so much. At the same time, though, that could be some serious clutter if you go overboard on that.
True.
So can you tell me a little bit about the egg?
The chicken came first.
Okay, yes. Very accurate.
Yes.
But
theologically sound.
Exactly.
Can you tell me a little bit about the egg and about what kind of function that it serves in baking specifically?
Oh,
because
great question, Shadrach.
As a
it's like
baker,
it's rehearsed.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not rehearsed because it's a question that I think I have a somewhat of an understanding of, but it's something that for a very long time, I always wondered. Yeah. I would always be like,
Why is the egg there?
Why is the egg there?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so classically speaking, when you're making a cake, the most basic thing that everybody makes, but also usually it's dry.
Usually makes poorly.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the most traditional cake recipes do not have baking soda or baking powder. That's a modern invention.
Okay.
Everything pre-baking soda, Shadrach is so interested in this. Everything pre-baking soda
that was not a
and baking powder were leavened by eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what gives it its growth and its air. So in the modern age, we're like, okay, we'll crack a few eggs in it. And what is the story? Dylan was saying something the other day about brownie and cake mixes.
Yeah.
Essentially, they can engineer the egg in it, but they just want to make you feel like you're doing something. So you're supposed to put the eggs in it.
Well, so actually, and it makes the brownie and cake mix taste much better. You can just do it without the egg.
Taste. But texture-wise, it's super important.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is something that is interesting. It's kind of lost in the age of baking powder.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. But I was thinking about this too because Becca and I were making some wonderful tiramisu the other day. It was really tasty.
Yeah,
we could have improved on it.
The texture was a little off.
Yeah, it was a little off, but we were getting there.
Yeah.
And
Becca was really upset about how much the white wine.
Then it sat a couple days and then it was delicious. But literally we scoop it out and it was like eating wine. It was a lot. But anyway, so we're making this, and there's so many raw eggs and a lot of baked goods that no one also realizes, and it is the texture. It is. You have to make sure you separate the white and the yolk, and you have to make sure that everything is whipped consistently. There is so much to do with the texture and baking that is all due to an egg.
So what exactly
not necessarily even flavor.
So what exactly is it that the baking soda accomplishes in a dish that the egg accomplishes? Is it just I don't know much about the chemistry or the action there, but what is baking soda baking powder doing?
The local expert, it basically is just a sophisticated chemical reaction that allows it to puff up more. Yeah. So it basically takes out, what the egg does naturally and just gives you a better rise.
And so the egg, by what? Like through its proteins or something? Like what is it that's going on?
Probably, yes, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
Something chemical.
We need
I got a
Silas Strehle, organic
chemist. I got a B- in chemistry. Just saying.
But an A+ in baking.
And eggs.
Heck yeah. But yeah, it's super...
A+ did eggs.
An E+.
Yeah.
Egg+.
You were talking about eating the wine.
Yeah.
I guess this is enough time as any to tell this story. We were in Washington State, and I went to a local small town
Talk about
shop.
Food chemistry.
Yeah, and I found something that I thought would revolutionize my life. I walked over and I saw.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it was in a bougie women's boutique. Yes. Let's just set the stage.
Yes. And I saw a box that said the word gin on it, and I was like, oh, what's that all about? So I walk over, and they're alcoholic gummies.
Okay.
So they're gummies. Yeah. The whole idea is eat your drink is what it says on it.
So like basically like weed gummies, but for booze?
Yeah. And so it's like 5% each gummy.
Like
So-
eating a 5% drink?
Yes.
How is that possible?
I have no idea. I walked up to the lady and I was like, "Hey, have you tried these?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "So like how much?"
He was like a man on a
alcohol.
mission too.
Yeah.
He grabbed
Yeah,
that box and was like, "I'm going to buy these." He goes over there.
I gotta know, because
Yeah.
the first thing that pops to mind was airplanes.
Yeah.
This is,
I mean, the same thing that pops into any weed heads.
yeah, it's true, it's true.
Yeah.
This is the ideal situation because you don't
Yeah.
have to pay $10 for a drink. You can buy these and then have the alcohol on the plane. You know,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
buy one drink and then supplement it or whatever.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
like a total.
I know. So then I got these. So I asked them. I said, "So what's the deal?"
$35.
And
They
she
sold them in a 5-pack or a 10-pack.
It was a 5-pack for $15, which is not bad. If
for
you-
gummies though. 5 gummies.
For $3, but is it really a drink's worth of alcohol?
Well, so I walk up to the lady and I say, "So what's the deal?" And she says, "Well, it's about as much as a seltzer. It's about as much as a
What?
seltzer in it." And I was like, okay.
per gummy bear.
Yeah.
You just drink a 6-pack with a handful?
Yeah. Well, so I was like, "Oh, okay, that's wow." And she's like, "Yeah." And so I bought them. I wait until the flight back. It's like 6 days. Get on the plane. And I'm like, all right, now's the time. I try them. Over the course of the flight, I have 4 of these. Do not.
Yeah.
Well, no, you said the first one.
The first one, I felt like,
Was it placebo?
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm feeling a little tipsy, and then I had the rest of them, and it just did not.
Well, before this though, he did hail the steward over or the stewardess over and said, "Oh, I'll take a drink." And I looked over and I thought, what was the $15 for at the women's boutique? You know?
I
Were you
thought
guys
it was
driving?
something that was going to be needed to be supplemented, which it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
true, which was exactly true.
Valid.
Yeah.
So basically, they tasted like really, really acidic gummies.
Yeah.
That were flavored like different cocktails.
Well, so maybe it's like because I've heard that when you're taking a substance and you're kind of putting it into gummies, I feel like I do this all the time where like I'll mention something weed related.
Yeah, and it'll make
I don't
people-
smoke.
yeah.
I've never smoked once in my life. I promise. I would promise on my mom's grave. I've never once smoked marijuana.
Your mom's not dead, so
That's true. I promise on my mom's car. But my mom's graphic
Her plot
design
career. Yeah.
that I've never smoked marijuana and nor ingested marijuana in any form. But when you put something in gummies, it can spread out improperly. So,
But I always heard that was because of oil.
yes,
Right. And
which maybe alcohol is similar.
I don't know, man.
I don't know because maybe that last one is like all 5 of the drinks.
Could be.
I don't know. It could be the one you gave me.
That's true.
Yeah.
What did
It
you
was
feel
like some sort of a fruity rum thing,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the taste of it. To be perfectly honest, I didn't feel a thing.
No.
I mean,
And she's a lightweight, you know.
yeah, no,
Should have been
didn't
egg
feel a
flavored.
thing.
Yeah.
I might have been into it if it were egg flavored. A little bit of cilantro.
Actually,
Yeah.
back to eggs because I feel like Dylan's monopolizing away from the subject of this
well,
conversation.
it was a very serious conversation.
Yes.
It was.
The
that,
egg-
that was a good story.
Yeah.
Egg
I just
conversation.
thought
Sorry?
I wanted to bring it up in this episode, and I had to get it in.
You had to be
There you
like, okay,
Yes, now's the time.
coming in.
Now's
Anyway.
the time.
Do not recommend. That's
All
my
right.
final takeaway.
Yeah.
Let's play a quick game here.
Okay.
List out to me some
like
foods that your average person would eat normally,
Mm-hmm.
eggless on top,
Mm-hmm.
that are
Oh.
vastly improved by the addition
Oh.
of one fried egg.
Yeah.
Okay. The classic millennial avocado on toast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, true. One egg,
Make it more
Yes.
more protein.
one egg, little bit of hot sauce, cracked pepper, cracked salt.
Hamburger.
Boom.
Hamburger.
Hamburger,
Yes.
of course.
10 out of 10.
Yes.
That's also another classic.
As this reminds me though, Nick Urum.
Oh.
Nick Urum, friend of the show.
Yeah. Is he?
Just friend. Nick Urum, friend.
All of your friends are friends of the show.
He got to this point as well when he was in college when I was rooming
Yes.
with him, where he said everything I eat,
Yeah.
if I eat at home, I always crack
Yeah.
an egg in it, regardless of what
College
it is.
ramen. Yeah, it's
There you
so
go.
associated
Yep.
with the college world,
Yep.
let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ramen's
Yeah.
so
perfect.
those are all good. Those are all good.
Yeah.
The upgrading the ramen, that's something I learned very early
Yeah.
on. Makes a huge difference. Actually has some protein.
Yep.
It's weird too that it's primarily protein.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
And
That's
it,
another
and,
amazing
but it's
thing.
so it adds a flavor that's almost fatty.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of flavor dimension. It's buttery.
Especially if you've got the runny yolk. It's
Yeah.
bougie.
Mhm.
That's literally the word that comes to
Decadent.
my mind. Yes, it's like
Yeah.
liquid gold.
Yes.
It's amazing.
There's a treasure inside, but no key.
Exactly.
The classic The Hobbit riddle.
For only 90 calories.
Yeah, for only 90
Yeah,
calories.
for those who are trying to watch their waist.
Yeah, you could either drink a White Claw or eat an egg, I guess.
Honestly, yes.
True.
Yeah.
I would say any Chinese food.
Okay.
The morning after,
True.
you could crack an egg on.
That is true.
And that
yeah.
could be good.
Fried rice, basically anything that's Asian cuisine. I don't know, though. I was pretty transformed because we recently, Dylan and I, went out to visit your parents.
Yeah.
And, your little brother Silas is so food forlorn.
Yeah.
That she constantly, has like really nice, protein, filled snacks in the house always, just out of habit.
Yeah.
And so she pulls out, she was making salad, and she pulls out from Costco these pre-wrapped boiled eggs.
I've seen those,
I am going to Costco and I'm going to get some of those. That was the best thing ever. It's like plastic wrapped. You could have taken one of these on the airplane instead of, alcohol gummies.
I will say.
And it would have been a lot better for you.
How about you sitting next to a person that's eating a boiled egg out of a piece of plastic?
I am the person who's also eating tuna on a plane, like in the package. Oh, I don't care. Wow. It's totally fine.
Wow. Disrespectful.
No, it's
disrespectful
totally
to
fine.
all
I don't care.
involved.
I love tuna.
I worked for a radio show whose name I'm not going to say because they are a celebrity, but I was working for a radio show. I was interning in New York, and the producer every day for lunch he would have a sandwich and he would have a hard-boiled egg.
Yes.
And it would be in his shell, so he would sit there and he'd crack it and he'd peel it. But then the guy who was actually on the show only showed up for like a couple hours a day to do the recording, and then he would leave, and then we would just kind of work. And he would show up, and the producer would be sitting there, and he would crack his egg, he would peel it, and then he'd have a second egg, he would crack it and peel it. His wife would always give him 2 boiled eggs, and he would eat the one boiled egg, right, with like a packet of salt or something. And then when the talent showed up, he would hand him a hard-boiled egg. He'd be like, "Where's my hard-boiled egg?" And he'd show up, he's just eat the hard-boiled egg and sit in front of the mic.
The most iconic,
that
television character ever, Columbo, if you will, is also known for eating boiled eggs on the go. On solving mysteries.
It's kind of crazy that you can just kind of put those things in your pocket, basically.
There you go. Yeah.
Another wondrous form.
Yeah.
A wondrous form of the egg.
Yeah.
The deviled egg?
Oh,
what is the story of the deviled egg? Because I always heard that
Why is it deviled?
Because it's supposed to, because the paprika, I actually know this. The paprika is supposed to be, to our modern sensibilities, it's savory, but to the sensibilities of its invention,
satanic.
It was spicy.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like, satanic.
Devil.
I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of different.
Only as much as Hungarians are satanic, I guess.
Yeah,
but
which
we know is
90%.
Yeah, 90%. But because I always thought it was this weird thing where, because it seems very much of its time of like the 50s.
It's very
60s,
1970s,
70s.
With perfectly placed chives.
Yeah, and like stuff where we just basically put mayonnaise in it. That's like the era when we invented most things that are colloquially called like a salad. But a lot of it's kind of pushed to the wayside. Deviled eggs, for some reason, have just survived.
They have in most cultures.
That's a
part of
holiday
America.
classic, at least here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
We had Easter food.
Even on the West,
Christmas?
Easter always saw
Thanksgiving. Sometimes we'll have one.
Deviled egg. Yeah. Which is good. I'm glad that tradition has survived. Regardless, there's a lot from the 70s that I'm glad stayed there. Which I don't know, speaking of Columbo, we watched that episode, which was a episode about culinary. This culinary writer.
Was so bad.
Yeah,
this food reviewer. And they had all this like fancy food that they would show off. So it's like these long shots of these tables with all this food.
Everything was gelatin.
No, but it all looked disgusting.
Okay,
it was all
plastic.
Yes. Yeah. It was all shiny. It was all it was just terribly. Everything looked like a little additionally brown for some reason. It was gross.
Let's be honest though, the only good-looking meal in that entire episode was the one Columbo makes at the end with the spoiler alert with the killer. Yeah. There's not really a spoiler, from the beginning. But he actually makes something Italian. And it looks very hearty, and it's not just like this elegantly placed.
Yes, exactly.
Foam.
To better accentuate the separation between him and his quarry, as always. Guys, before we move on, we got to thank some people, right? We got to thank our patrons. I have to do this differently because in the last episode, I was made fun of for how I do this each week. So
I nailed you pretty hard.
You did. I was impressed.
Did you do it the same way?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
listened to this episode.
First off, we got to thank Mom and Dad Strehle,
LOL. That sounds exactly like him.
Joe Papalardo, and Sammy Roberts. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
So much.
we could not do this without you
Yeah.
guys.
That being said,
Yeah. That being said,
So any dang way,
Yeah.
thank you guys for being our top patrons. Really appreciate that. You're really the ones that are helping us forge the way. But that's not to say that the folks that are donating at our lower tiers, you're really helping make this show happen and all the equipment that you're seeing or listening to right now.
plus miniatures.
Well, I mean, these were pre-production.
Oh,
These were
oh,
pre-production
okay.
manager.
I assure you,
I'm
none of
with
your
you.
money has gone towards
Oh.
miniatures.
Well, it's a set piece.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. I mean, we could write it off, right?
Yeah.
At the $5 tier, you get access to the Patreon episode, which we record after this, which is always a little looser, a little bit more wacky. If you're interested in that kind of a thing, that's almost double the content each week. That's crazy. In addition, at the $10 tier, this is crazy. You get to ask us questions, and we'll answer them. This is insane. It's funny. The only ones that ask us questions consistently were always our $25 tier people.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're just additionally dedicated. So, those out here on the $10 tier, you've got the ability to ask us questions. So
Step up.
Step up.
Yeah.
Step up to the streets.
Favorite ice cream flavor? That's going to stay with me.
Yeah.
Until you send that our way.
All right. We got a question from Samuel Roberts.
Samuel Bobberts.
One of my goals for this year is to become a better mixologist.
Yeah.
What are your personal favorite and least favorite cocktails?
I have one that involves raw egg.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Which is a Straley family favorite, which is a whiskey sour.
Exactly.
It's delicious.
I was going to say that if you want to become a better mixologist, a good way to do so is to pick a drink like a whiskey sour that's a little more complicated, that isn't just based off of ratio, but there's mechanics involved, and make it. Do it like I did when I got good at mixology, sort of. When I learned how to make like 10 drinks really well, but when I did that, you just... sometimes you just drink by yourself.
Yeah.
But
It's a
And
problematic
you go see your
option.
therapist.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
all fine.
Yeah. But it requires some trial and error, and for that I have, the whiskey sour is probably my favorite thing to kind of work on, because it required, you learn a little bit more about separating yolk.
Yeah.
You figure out a good ratios for
little
ice.
Which,
ingredient.
by the way,
Yeah.
when you're separating the yolk, you can just reach down and grab the yolk. None of this weird, I'm trying to balance it. None of this, you got
then
the
you
egg
gotta wash
separator
your
that has a
hands.
smiley. Get in there. You're not really truly in the
Frickin'
kitchen.
mix it up.
Unless you
Salmonella
are watching
is-
your hands
Yeah.
properly
Yes.
all the time.
Uh,
Just get in there.
we recently started drinking a cocktail that's called an amaretto sour that Abby's really into.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a almond liqueur.
Yeah, Marita.
Amaretto sort of whiskey sour and or gin and tonic, depending on how you make it happen, which is really good, and it's also a low
Low
ingredient
ingredients
number.
list.
Yeah, that's delicious.
If I'm thinking of what would he, because you said least favorite, right?
Least
Things you
favorite
want to stick
cocktail?
away from as a mixologist, right? Where do you want to avoid? Obviously, things
not-
with expensive ingredients. Don't waste your time trying to put together. That kind of
he's
thing
just
when you're
asking
just
what
starting
our
off.
favorite and least favorite cocktails are, period, though.
Mhm.
And I think that's different than being a mixologist. I would say least favorite, just overall, is a vast majority of... I really hate a mid-century old-fashioned so much. And that's usually, if you order an old-fashioned at a bar, say one in Hillsdale, or actually most places, I've ordered them on the coast and gotten the same thing, where it's an old-fashioned, and they're really popular in this region. I recently learned
Yeah.
like there's this whole genre of them involved, like that were invented in Milwaukee. That's basically the same thing, but they use brandy, which I can't even
That is crazy.
imagine. Rather than just using a couple of cherries, orange as a garnish, maybe, etc., an orange peel as a garnish. It's like the sort of thing where you put a quarter of a orange in there, and 3 maraschino cherries, and you muddle it, and you're drinking
Syrup.
You're drinking syrup, and really hate that. Do not enjoy it. But do you have a least favorite?
Honestly, anything with coconut in it because
That's a
I
bummer.
hate coconut.
Wow, pina
So-
coladas.
Yeah,
That's
no,
rough.
I don't like pina coladas. Yeah,
You guys don't like
but
getting
that's just
caught
my
in the
personal
rain?
preference.
Yeah,
That's just my personal preference, and it's not
Yeah.
like many people, at home are out there making their island drinks.
Yes, and it's. I mean, you to make island drinks, you need cocoa royale or coconut
Yeah,
cream.
okay,
and
that's
that's a lot of
another
stuff
thing.
to work with.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very pricey, and not a lot of it can be utilized for other drinks.
Exactly. Well,
true.
well,
Well,
it's
that's
a lot of tiki
for a
drinks
whole
are also
genre.
a lot
Yeah,
of tiki drinks are
exactly.
also a terrible bad drinks. Do not drink them. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the martini I had once with that was just gin and olive juice. That's not good.
who made that for you?
That's
Me.
That's a dirty martini.
Well, no,
isn't
no,
it?
because there's always vermouth in
Yeah,
there as
you're
well.
supposed
So
to
I
have
didn't have any
vermouth.
vermouth.
But, oh my gosh.
So I was told this is like young, not that young, but young Dylan.
21 years of
Yeah,
age.
yeah,
Dylan.
not a legal Dylan. 21 years of age Dylan. Was told, oh yeah, a martini. I was at a party and they're like,
Yeah.
martini, that's just gin and an olive. But I was like, well, is really okay? I guess I'll.
The funny thing about
that.
about dry vermouth is that it increases the alcoholic tendencies of whatever it is you're drinking, but it sort of waters it down. It's funny. I've had like really expensive vodka martinis to where it tastes like you're literally drinking alcoholic water.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Guys, we got one more question. We got a question from Joe Papalardo.
Joe.
Okay. Joe says, I think Shad has fallen for me and has feelings for me.
No.
Oh.
Can you have the guest explain why I'm wrong?
Oh. Well,
warn him away
I
Yeah.
mean,
from my
As-
wiles.
wait, does Joe mean that Shad is not into him?
No, he's saying Shad's into me.
No.
But
He's saying.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
No,
what
he's saying.
What is he even saying? Let's be honest.
He's saying.
Come on, Joe. What
He's saying
even?
Shad has feelings for me. Shad has feelings for me.
Not
me,
true.
Me
No,
being Joe.
it's not true.
Me, I have feelings of love. He has feelings of love for me.
It's not true.
Convince him that that's not the case.
It's not true because
I thought it was
Joe.
I thought it was Joe. You were trying to warn Joe away from me. I
Yes.
thought that was the point of it.
Oh.
Well,
let me read the question again.
No, Joe.
Joe, I think Shad has feelings for me.
Okay.
Can you have the guest explain why I'm wrong?
Oh,
Shad does
exactly.
not actually have feelings for Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Okay,
But
that's
why?
Initially,
Examples. Give me
Examples?
concrete evidence.
Joe freaking can't cook. I don't know
that's
this for
true.
certain,
Oh,
that's
but
true.
According to the lore, Joe can't cook.
It's
So,
very true.
come on, Joe.
You don't need the lore for that.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan.
That's a
for
deal
that reason,
breaker.
and I also think Shad's not a fan for that reason.
Yes,
So-
exactly. That's a deal breaker, Joe.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
When Shad comes home, comes back from his office because he
Yeah.
works from home.
yeah.
After a long day listening to stuff, and just wants to use
Pressing
another
buttons.
sense, of
Yeah,
the, namely the taste bud. And he walks over to your mushy broccoli and bad chicken or whatever you used to make.
Yeah, yeah.
and protein
Yeah,
pancakes.
he's not happy.
That's true.
So no, it's not happening. That's my hot take.
We would fight constantly, Joe. You know
Yes,
this.
exactly. I'm glad we finally ironed out.
Yeah.
this
Honestly,
I would be like,
we
I
love
was-
each
I
other
was
too
really-
much.
I would be like, you're just like your mother.
I feel like I just took an exam. That's how confusing that question
Yeah,
was.
that was a little
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Now
I'm sweating a
You
little.
just got a perfect score on the LSAT.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Congrats. Perfect.
Grad school
Yeah.
done.
All right, folks, back to our conversation about particularly eggs. Right. Very important.
How many times can we come back to this? The egg.
As many as it frickin' takes until we get
All
to
right,
the very
let's talk
yolky center.
Let's talk about
Of
some,
this subject.
some culinary uses for the egg. All right.
See, this is important because Abby has maintained for a long time.
Yeah.
And I support her completely in this, that she would like to do a podcast about the egg.
Yeah.
I
right.
really just say it to be annoying, but that's how much I love it.
No,
I
no, no.
really do think about it. all the time.
I have been a round defender for ages on this. I
Yes.
do think that there is a lot of room for the Eggcellent podcast.
Agree.
Yeah, which is the name. Copyright. No one can
Yes,
steal
yes.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think
Patent pending.
I think
Yes.
that's a great idea for a podcast, and with some research and some like real time into it, you could have
Thank you.
Good 15, 20
Thank
minute
you.
episodes on each type of egg. It would be great.
Yeah, it would be.
Each type of egg, chicken, quail,
Duck.
Emu.
duck, emu.
Emu. So, I think it's important to circle all the possible subjects, right? To really extrapolate what kind of a podcast this could be.
This is fascinating
Right.
content.
So I'm thinking, non-culinary uses for eggs, okay?
Okay.
Revenge,
Oh.
either thrown at a
True.
house or put on a seat.
That's a
Both
classic.
perfectly good egg uses.
There you
Yes.
go. Defense.
Defense.
Due to smell.
Due to smell.
Yes.
You could rotten egg someone. There's balance.
Train it.
Oh,
You
true.
train your
Physical
balance.
training.
Summer camp
Yeah.
is defined by the egg race.
Yeah, and you could do the egg egg race
Love,
game.
love and loss.
Yeah.
Through the
Yes.
egg race.
What's up with that
Yes.
one where you have to keep the egg balanced with two people
Holding the egg
Oh,
between them?
Yeah, putting
yeah.
it-
That one gets very salacious, though.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want
That's what
my
I'm saying.
Dude, the
child
symbolism
doing that at
involved
summer
there,
camp.
dude.
Yeah.
Symbolism involved?
No.
Crazy.
That's not a good one.
It increases. You can vastly increase your cheek capacity by putting as many of those in your
Oh,
mouth.
true.
That's true. Just
exactly.
stretch it out.
Yeah.
Easter. Very important.
Oh,
Very
yes.
important symbolism in Easter.
Yes.
Defines the bunny.
It defines the bunny, defines the reason we celebrate the season,
The egg is the reason
Yeah.
for the season.
Yes.
It is true.
Yeah.
It is true.
I was thinking of egg washing things that aren't
It's
edible.
Oh, true. Patisserie is very reliant on the egg in that respect.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That
Kinda
could be a whole episode.
A test of
guys.
strength.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Putting it between your arm and your elbow to try to pop
Try
it.
to pop an egg.
Yeah, classic.
Let me think. Oh, you could. Oh, it's like the. Sometimes people use them for environmentally friendly, poppers or something, where they empty them
Wait,
out and
what?
they put
what? Please
confetti or
explain.
something inside of them, and they throw them and it pops.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who does this? Whoa.
Some people.
Let's not forget you can use them as fertilizer, eggshells.
Eggshells.
As fertilizer.
True.
I always think when I throw the egg away and, Lucy looks at me as I,
Yeah.
trail over to the trash can, I always wonder, would she actually eat the egg? I
Have you-
kinda
Oh,
think
she
would.
would, but should she?
Yeah.
That's valid.
Have you guys
That's a lot
ever
of
done
protein.
the egg test on her?
No. What's
You
the
don't know this with
egg
dogs?
test?
It's to test their paternal spirit. You can
Whether or not she goes to sit on it?
no. If you put an egg, the dog is currently right here. That's why we're talking about her. For those who
Yeah,
are listening,
yeah.
but if you put an egg in a dog's mouth,
Oh.
they'll sense that it's fragile sometimes, and they'll just hold it in their mouth, right? And then the really idiot ones will just right away. So you can test.
Okay.
It's a good dog IQ exam.
What do you think Lucy would do?
She's got strong.
She's so nervous that I
Yeah.
think she might hold it and
You think
not know
so?
what to do with it.
Yeah.
But then again, she loves her ball so much that
Yes.
she may confuse what's going on. and
True.
Break
yeah.
that thing wide open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's something I'm trying to think. Other, come on, you got other.
I'm literally at a loss.
At home planetarium.
It could be your Pluto.
Yeah, could be your Pluto.
Wow.
That
I
means
like that.
it wouldn't be a planetarium at that point. It would be a
model.
celestial body minarium. but-
Yes. Of course. A subject for your painting
a subject for a painting
because of
yes.
its beauty.
Still life.
A paperweight.
If you will.
Paperweight.
Although
Agreed.
it rolls too much, I think, to be an effective paperweight.
That's an ill paperweight.
Yeah.
Use it as wheels for your assorted.
Your mouse car trap.
So
Car.
Yes.
one way to not use them, and this is a PSA for anybody who has a garbage disposal, is to put them in your garbage disposal because it damages your garbage disposal.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that you can use them to sharpen your garbage disposal, but that's not true.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Is that true? Are people talking about using those to sharpen the garbage
I mean, that's
disposal?
what my wife
Okay.
thought.
Let's talk about proper garbage disposal use.
Okay.
Okay.
How many people were truly taught the garbage disposal use?
I
Or
I
did
w-
they
I
just
was taught to
trial
fear
by
it.
error?
I was,
You were-
I was
okay.
taught to fear the
Okay.
thing, right?
Okay.
I looked it up when I got one, and it was like
Okay.
no coffee grounds and no
Yep.
eggshells.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Potato skins.
Really, not
Yes.
supposed to.
We ran into that.
Yes, I
Spat.
thought. Okay, so I always thought my mom put a few down there,
Yeah.
just at a time. And I even said this to Dylan. I was like, I think a few are okay. No, 0 potato skins.
Yes.
What do they do?
Oh,
Well, they just clog it
They just
up.
clog.
Yeah.
It's starchy, and it just clogs it up.
Yeah.
And I think we had moved in. I think we were moved in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And,
And
clogged, and it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm staring there at
Beautiful.
the sink. that is
Homeownership,
full.
dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
homeownership.
it was swell.
Yeah, so far I'm still kind of terrified of it. I love it when there's like a pit or something in there, and every time you turn it on, it sounds like a war crime is being occurring. And like it's not really a problem. Like you just reach down there and grab it. But
building the next great noise album.
Yes,
right then and there.
That's true.
Industrial noise.
Yeah.
One of my most, I don't know. I just used the spoon, today, so it made me realize. So okay, for some reason the garbage disposal, the switch is usually below the sink.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes,
like
correct.
if I could take a poll, most people wire
Ours is
the
above the sink.
Okay, where is it above the sink?
Like
is it
to the right?
Oh shoot, it's on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, that's what ours is too.
Yeah.
And we have a light that's just right there, and you would think, wow, logical person that's like, no, it's the garbage disposal, and I've ruined the handle of I think 3 or 4 utensils at this point.
Oh gosh,
it's great.
And how are we ever going to make that money back?
Yeah, I know.
That's why we have to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, all the money that you give us goes to the Strehle Utensil Fund for damaged utensils because of improper garbage disposal.
Yeah, yes. Which of course is a shell corporation.
It's an eggshell corporation.
Boo.
Other non-essential, non-culinary uses for eggs. Actually,
drawing a little face on it, so it's your friend.
Yes,
when you don't have friends.
When you don't have friends. Other one, turning it into instant egg through dehydration.
Oh.
Not very culinary, if you ask me.
Oh.
That's barely eatable.
Eggable?
Shelf stable. How much egg is actually in a shelf stable egg?
Oh, probably not that much.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't imagine.
Wonder what the rest of it is. Because when you eat it, you're like, because you'll see the containers and it'll be like, even the pre-beaten stuff, it'll be like pre-beaten eggs, and then you'll eat you'll eat it and you'll be like, this doesn't taste anything like it. I mean, maybe something happens when you let it sit pre-beaten for a while, but
let me look it up.
Mostly just potato starch.
It's got to be. Yeah.
It's just instant potatoes.
Dried whole eggs.
Oh.
Non-fat dairy, soybean oil, and salt.
Soybean oil. Of course, there's soybean oil.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're getting seed oils.
Seed oils.
While you're trying to just enjoy instant eggs.
Yes.
Yes.
The health,
like man was never meant to.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's our ultimate, sin right there, being punished with seed oils.
Summer camp starts in summer camp. You're like, I'm eating these bad breakfast sausage links and those, and then you're gonna go, I don't know, shoot something with a bow and arrow or fall into a lake. Dude,
memories.
Speaking of sausages, we went to Cafe Berlin, which is this German place in Washington,
We
DC.
went to a beer garden over our vacation, so it's perfect.
Was it like a real beer garden where you could get German food?
It was a Leavenworth beer garden.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
There were sounds of oompa in the background. It was
Great.
very authentic.
Was it that outdoor one that we always go to?
No,
when we're
not
out
that
there?
one. There was another one there that was more authentic, as in like the architecture was much more of an outdoor, and there was a lot of like plant life and stuff like that, and there was beer being served as opposed to the other one where there's not.
There was also a very awkward mural of a man eating
a
bratwurst. Yeah,
it was really just he had his whole ass gubs around that thing.
The way he was, anyway.
Yeah.
It was not
Nice.
good.
Nice.
It was not good.
Distracted while you yourself are eating a sausage.
Yeah, but it was really tasty. I thought it was good.
It made me realize, though, I had a very similar interaction with this German food in the way that you had with that egg.
Yes.
Where I think it might be genetic. I don't know what. Becca went to Germany a few times, and so she's sort of in love with it and loves German food, and I'm just German. And so just sitting there, and we were eating this, and earlier that day we'd walked 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go to a place that was super mediocre and super expensive. And we're sitting here and like for $60 literally on the tab, $60 less than what we paid for lunch at this other place. We're just eating just a spread of sausages, meats and cheeses.
I hope kraut was involved.
Kraut was involved.
Good.
Rebecca preferred I forget what it's called, but it's like made with purple cabbage and is sweeter.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I wasn't
the name for it.
I wasn't as big of a fan, but
yeah,
just doing that, we, again, food is a very important thing for us. And as we were doing it, we're like, I think this is the happiest I've been in literally months. It's just sitting there,
And he got married this year.
True, actually.
I didn't say this year. I said in months.
Okay, it's September.
It's true.
Exactly.
Technically.
The year is coming to a close.
Yeah, which that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy how food can have that impact
It
on
does.
some people.
It's very strange because it's so associated with memory. I've also read that too, which is really interesting. And it's very strange, but every time... Okay, bacon grease is also another unexplored wonder.
I think it's been explored, but it no longer.
Well,
I think it's been thoroughly explored in the past.
But you save that bacon grease and you use that multiple times, and that's flavor, right there. And my mom always made ladyfinger popcorn with bacon grease. So a whole bowl of it, just a little bit of salt, or if you're at my house, a ton of salt.
What makes it ladyfinger?
Very small kernel.
Oh,
yeah. So it's
dainty.
Exactly. It's for the
for the ladies.
Up. Exactly.
Yes. Because
to have with tea.
Obviously a woman's hands are so weak they wouldn't be able to hold up a full kernel of popcorn, right? So they need to make sure it's nice and small.
Yeah. Or if you choke on it, it's not as much of
a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And gosh, it just reeks in wonderful ways of bacon. And I remember exactly what I was reading. I remember reading a book when I was in elementary or middle school.
Yeah.
And I was eating this for the first time, or seemingly the first time. And every single time I have it, I always think of that book.
What book is it?
I don't even remember the name of it, but
I thought you said you always remember.
Yeah.
I think of the book because it was part of the Dear America series. But I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I really don't. Yeah.
Wow.
It was one
Right
of the
in. Tell us what the name. Tell us the name of the book. Yeah. You'll get
Are you a
an
fan?
egg.
We'll email you an egg.
Yes.
And we'll wrap it multiple times.
We're putting it in an envelope. Looking at that thing and just sending it out.
Envelope.
Goodness. Well, Abby, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome.
It's been a
It was a lot of
pleasure.
fun. Yeah.
As always.
We'll have to have you back
exciting.
on when we have to promote the Eggcellent podcast.
Yes, when it happens.
Yeah.
True. Yes.
We're going to roll into the Patreon vibe over there for a bit. So don't go away if you're a patron, but if you're not, then get out of here. We don't want to.
And pay for the Patreon.
Jeez.
You should. It's good content.
Yeah.
It always is.
Some say.
Yeah.
Some say. Hey.